Okay, this is Oscar with Teacher Talk Live. I'm doing a talk with Michael and Kevin, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves and what they have for us.
Hi, I'm Mike Fanesteele. I'm the CEO of Field Trip Zoom.
And I'm Kevin Sullivan. I'm an educational advisor for Field Trip Zoom as well.
So you guys, we just saw the video that you guys have. It's a really cool technology. Tell me overall about it. What does it do? What's special about it?
Sure. So Field Trip Zoom is really a way for museums and other cultural organizations to bring their programming, their live interactive programming into the classroom using video technology, because we're using video technology right now. And we're just on a laptop and a PC or an iPad or even a phone. And Field Trip Zoom kind of connects all of the museums in one place so a teacher can go to the website, sign in, and have a really easy, streamlined experience for finding the different programs that are relevant to their content. And then they can just use the equipment that they have in the classroom to access that content and get it to the kids. And so it makes their curriculum much more impactful if they're studying some specific subject matter area, and then they can actually go to a field trip or go to a museum and have somebody like an expert in that area talk to them more about that curriculum.
Nice, nice. So is there a live component to it? Are the students watching something happening in that museum live, or how does that work?
All of the programs are basically one-to-one live experiences with the programmer and the classroom. The classroom teacher, the students within that classroom are all actively engaging with that presenter at the time of the program. They are able to ask questions to each other, answer questions back and forth, and be able to integrate different components of that into their lessons that they're teaching. As a former principal and as a former teacher, the impact that this program has and the ability to have classrooms be able to tap into resources that are worldwide, from Australia all the way to Alaska, to New York City, to Central America. There's all different areas that you can bring your classroom and tear down the walls of your classroom and basically give yourself the opportunity to have your students speak with and get knowledge from experts in the field all over the world.
So Kevin, if I'm I work for the zoo and I want to give a whole zoo field trip to Mrs. McGuire's class, for example, I can hold up my iPhone and walk them through the zoo as they ask questions and all that?
There are many different components. We do not really dictate exactly what the content provider does and how they do it. We leave that up to them. They really find whatever their niche is. We have different content providers doing different experiences, but like a classroom teacher, each experience that they go through is unique to the classroom that is participating in it. Each one is based upon some type of a guideline or content, and when you go through our catalog and sign up and go into each one of them, it explains what the general genre or theme is for that classroom. But once again, because it is live and because it is interactive, the line of questioning, the ideas that the students bring forth, and whatever the presenter brings forth is something that is going to be unique to that one experience. We are not in the business of taping and videotaping and showing it later. We are in the here and now. We are really focused on making sure that the students get an experience from that educator in that live and interactive perception.
And
yeah,
I think,
Oscar, just to build on that, we like to say it's not a virtual field trip. It's really a live and interactive educational program that is produced by a museum or a cultural organization, because all of these are, based on Common Core standards. So many, almost all of the programs are following some sort of a rigorous curriculum standard, so that it's not just sort of a fun field trip like you're walking along the halls and looking at stuff. You're having somebody one-on-one talk to the kids and go through a specific program that is focused on some subject matter area that is relevant to the classroom. And that's the big difference. It's not a fun, it is fun and it's interactive and it's great, but this foundation is on learning and education primarily.
And the programs are really geared for the age group that are providing them. So for example, we have programs that are running from pre-K all the way up to 12th grade. And within each one of the content provider explanations, it's going to say what grade level, what content, what genre they are looking for. So you're not going to get the same program that's going to be delivered to high school students as you would for second grade students. It's really content specific and really focusing on whatever, as Michael had just said, whatever content, whatever standard, whatever piece of information that the teacher is looking for based upon the program that they selected.
And how do you find content providers? I think that you would be able to, I see a real opportunity to find really cool stuff for all kinds of classrooms. And how do you go about finding really good providers?
Yeah, so that's a great question, because we're not just about just having anybody that can do this. There is some sort of screening process where we try to make sure that we are only including in our network of providers high quality professional programs that are produced. And so it's not just having, say, a collaboration with another teacher in another classroom like Skype for Education might do, or some other things might do, which is a great experience in and itself. I mean, those things have great value as well. But we're focused on really bringing these to specific institutions that are doing this and have either as a venue a lot of material, archived material that give the foundation for what they're talking about, right? I mean, it's I'm going to the Virginia Historical Society, or I'm going to the Liberty Science Center, and everybody within that center is focused on either science or some historical aspect, or even some health aspect. We have a number of health programs. We have some performing arts programs. And so we go through and find programs that give a good breadth of subject matter material so a teacher can find things very easily, select a program, reserve the program. Since it's live and interactive, our website helps facilitate that connection and that scheduling. And then we deliver the web conferencing stuff right to the teacher so they don't have to think about that piece of it from a technology perspective.
And as a classroom teacher, for example, most students are in the third grade and the fourth grade are looking at diversity and what is diversity in a classroom and what is diversity in whatever aspect of their culture that they're in. For example, one of our programs that we run is all about Jackie Robinson and how the Baseball Hall of Fame portrays Jackie Robinson as a pioneer in baseball and able to make parallels into classroom settings for students to understand that. So with that piece being put into place, with also other types of science, we have the Physique Science Center in Australia. They are really looking at very different science aspects of their area, their culture, and bringing it to their classrooms all across the United States and actually in Central America and different areas as well. So it's all about taking those content level experts and taking that specific type of information and gearing it to whatever content the teacher is looking for. So the teacher has that ability to go into our catalog, search what they need to help and reinforce and enhance their classroom. And it's not to take away from their instruction, it's actually to enhance their instruction and make it better for the students.
Right. Excuse me. As an entrepreneur, I am thinking, okay, so my question is, if I were to become a content provider and I happen to live in DC, it would be really convenient because I could set up a whole program all about the Lincoln Monument, and that could be available to teachers, and I could tour the actual students through the National Mall and have them ask questions, teacher ask questions, historical perspective, et cetera, et cetera. So,
well, actually, we have in Washington, D.C., we have the Ford's Theater, which is where Lincoln was assassinated. And
Ah,
so they go through an entire process of that historical moment, how it affected America at that time. But they not only do that, they give a perspective of a detective going through the process of solving the case. And they actually have live actors come in to represent how that all played out. So it gives some drama, but through that drama, and it really is a captivating program because it starts off with a detective solving how this all happened, but it's in the background is all the historical context of what's going on. And that's what really how the learning comes into play, because it's not like you're just spewing facts.
right.
You're going through the process of figuring out how they went out to find what happened to Lincoln during that specific historical moment, but then you're also in the backdrop learning all about what's going on in America at that time.
Right. It's that interactive component that's really powerful about it. I think, there's, when I hear you guys talk about all this, there's a really cool uh, uh, periscope approach to it that it's not, but from an educational standpoint, where, just like you said, Michael, it's not just interacting. There's a lot more to it. But it seems like it's, uh, excuse my reference to it, but it'd be Periscope times 10 for education, specifically for education, not just anything that's happening, but an interaction that's educational.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
and also our catalog is being built daily where we're adding new content providers. We're having conversations with teachers, with administrators, and they're asking us for specific types of programs. And what we're doing is we're actually going out and vetting different programs to see which ones are going to fit the needs of our clients that we have, the teachers that are asking for these programs. For example, just last week, we had somebody talking to us about Shakespeare. We've been out looking for different programs that incorporate Shakespeare in a high school level, because once again, you have very different levels. If you're talking about Shakespeare in high school or you're talking about Shakespeare in fourth grade, there's very different levels, and you need to have content providers that understand student needs and understand teacher needs to be able to produce and to put forth quality information and quality text to those students and be able to answer them in a way that is age appropriate and content specific. Because if you do not have that, the teachers are not going to find value in what we're doing. So we are very selective and really want to make sure that we're producing and putting forth that good programming. So when teachers are visiting our catalog, they can understand that they're getting quality. And we
Right.
want to make sure that that's the key.
And I think it's important to point out again that it's really important that one of the founders is an educator. And so it's not that you came up with a technology or an idea and followed through with it and think that you can just, expose it to the classroom. This was a thought out thing by an educator slash principal. So there's more weight to it than that.
Well, and really focused on the teacher. So it really is about how do we make this easy for the teacher to use as a curriculum resource? Because in the past, it's been very complicated and difficult because of the technology. And so Field Trip Zoom's all about thinking like a teacher and what we would want to use and how it can be simple. And I don't have a lot of time, so I can't spend a lot of time going to a course thinking about learning how to use some tools. So we want to make it so that it's just go to the website, sign up, get an account, and you'll have everything at your fingertips to make this happen for you.
Right.
And one extra piece that is key and crucial is time on learning. Classroom teachers nowadays do not have enough time in 6 hours to get all of what they need done. And what we're doing is, one, we're not trying to eliminate all field trips of ground-based field trips. We are trying to enhance the ones that we can be done during other periods of time. Our field trips are cost-effective, and also they are time-effective, whereby they are not spending a whole day in transition, moving children on school buses back and forth. They're getting 50 minutes of quality education during or embedded into their classroom school day. and they're able to both have pre and post within the same day. Because one of the biggest pieces of having a quality field trip is to have pre-lesson exposure and post-lesson exposure. What better to have that all happen in the same day? So you actually are able to review and go over what's going to happen in that field trip, go on that field trip, and then after the field trip, immediately be able to do follow-up, either writing, talking, discussing, blogging, anything that they can do is all in that same time. So it brings that time on learning much better or in a much more efficient manner.
Right, right. I think what you guys have is a really great technology, and I really want more teachers to get exposed to this, to Field Trip Zoom and what it does, and just the time saving component is just a huge deal. The knowledge base that all these content providers have, I think you guys said it best. There's a lot of advantages to it, and if I were in the classroom right now, I would definitely want to be involved with Field Trip Zoom and want to get my students at least one field trip experience because of that interactivity. I think that interactivity is huge. Instead of just watching a video, it's not watching a video. It's interacting and seeing things from their own perspective. The student and the teacher can interact with the presenter and ask certain things to show us certain things, or to speak about this or to speak about that. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, and I should point out, I think it was mentioned about cost. So you can go to our website and sign up for free as a teacher and get an account, and you get access to the catalog, and you can see all of the programs. I think we have about 35 different museum providers, over 480 programs to choose from. We have ways that you can quickly filter on subject matter areas. So you get all of that for free. Mm-hmm. And there is a cost for the actual field trip, and that fee goes to the museum. So it's really for the museum to continue to produce this high quality content.
Right.
So for teachers that don't have a budget for this, we can take orders, and you do order it through the Field Trip Zoom website, and we do take it one at a time. We also are working to try to figure out and provide grants. So there's a grants button at the top of the catalog where the teacher can click on and find out ways to get funding for the field trip, either
right.
third parties or sponsors and things like that. And then we're also trying to provide free field trips with foundations that we go out and find. So we're really trying to break down that barrier of funding as well. And there's other things that the teacher can do, like donorschoose.org is an independent, great website where you can go and we already see a lot of teachers fielding physical field trips through donorschoose.org. And so this is a perfect vehicle to go and post that for a virtual field trip.
I think that's the major one. I was going to point that out. If you have something worked out with donorschoose.org, I think that is the place where teachers can get funding for this kind of stuff. So
right. And like I said, we will keep posting different grant opportunities. Like Target has a great distance learning program. The teacher just has to go up and basically just really go get the money. It's just a time kind of thing. And we're going to try to even improve on that, on how we can reduce the time it takes for teachers to have to go and find the money.
Right.
But I should also point out, we can work with districts on the whole and actually have them pre-buy blocks of field trips, and then all their teachers can sign up. And then so if there's district admins out there, curriculum directors, or superintendents say, this is great, I just want to put in $1,000 for my whole district, or $5,000, any amount, and then the teachers can just draw off of that, and we keep track of that and report back to the district who used it, how much did they use it, how many, what class used it, and for what program.
Nice. No, that's a good feature. That's a nice feature. Okay, so anything else that we want to finish off with? I think we've covered all the important points about Field Trip Zoom, and where can people find you to ask more questions?
Go to www.fieldtripzoom.com, and we've got online live chat, we've got customer support, So all of the links are there, and you can find out a lot about Field Trip Zoom and contact us if you have further questions.
And you can also follow us on Twitter on @FieldTripZoom, whereby we have a lot of information that goes streaming through there on a regular daily basis as well. And that's @FieldTripZoom.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. I will stop recording now. Thank you very much, and we'll see you on the show.